Welcome back to another video. On this video, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the Profitec Move menu, going over some of the functions, some shortcuts, and just an in-depth overview of all the menu options within the Profitec Move. Whether you're new to the machine or you've owned the machine for a little while, this video will probably teach you quite a few things. So if you're ready to see that and more, drop me a like and let's get into the video. It's no secret that the Profitec Move has a lot of options and customizations, and I've even done a video before kind of going over some of the menu options, and you may have already seen that video. This, however, will be a more in-depth guide now that I've had the machine for almost a year now. Some things I've learned. I've read the owner's manual a couple times, so hopefully this will save you guys some time as well as teach you a few tricks. So first things first, let's get familiar with the buttons on the Profitec Move. You have two display control buttons. You have your left display control button and your right display control button. These are the small circular buttons next to this knob here, which is your steam wand knob. You also have two pull buttons. You have your top pull button and your bottom pull button, each that can be customized for specific brew ratios and times. And then on the right here, you have your hot water wand, which you can use to pull hot water out of the machine. For this, the steam boiler will need to be on. And lastly, down below, you have your power button. So this turns the machine on and off, pretty straightforward. So to get into the menus, you will want to hold both your left and your right display control button for about 3 seconds. Once you're in the menus, the first thing you'll see, and probably the most important setting, is your brew temperature. So your brew temperature is going to be your most important setting and probably the first setting that you should change. This is the temperature of the water that pours through your coffee grounds when making espresso. I usually keep this around 201 degrees Fahrenheit if I'm doing a medium roast. If you're doing a lighter roast, you can increase this to 203 or 204 degrees. Really, it's personal preference, but the general recommendation for medium or darker roasts is right around 200 degrees Fahrenheit. The next setting, if you hit your left display control button to toggle down, will be your steam enable. So this setting allows you to turn on or turn off the steam boiler. So if it's enabled, your steam boiler will heat up when your machine is turned on, and if it's disabled, your steam boiler will not heat up. It'll just be your brew boiler. Right after the steam enable, you have your steam temperature setting. So the steam temperature is adjustable from right around 238 degrees up to 274 degrees Fahrenheit. I keep mine at 270, and I found that this setting works well for steaming milk. Next, you have enable Preinfusion. So Preinfusion is kind of a more advanced feature, but basically how it works is at the start of the espresso pulling process, the pump actively builds pressure up for a predefined period of time. So you can set this later on in the settings, which I'll show you. Before the pump pressure has reached 9 bars, the pump interrupts the activity for another predefined period of time, which you can also set. During this passive phase, the hot water completely soaks the ground coffee, and then there is the extraction. So Preinfusion basically allows the grounds in your portafilter to get soaked before the coffee extraction process starts. Personally, I don't use Preinfusion. I've tested it a couple times, but I don't really notice a large benefit of my extraction, so I just keep it simple and I don't use it. But this machine does have the option if you wanted to enable it. Next, you have your brew settings setting. This allows you to customize the settings of both the top pull button and the bottom pull button. So in the brew settings, you have your shot time, which allows you to set the duration of the shot before the pump will turn off. Usually I keep this around 30 seconds. You have your pause setting. So if this is enabled, that means for that pull button, you'll have Preinfusion enabled. The easiest way to explain this, reading just the owner's manual here, your start time is going to be the duration in seconds after which the pump activity for Preinfusion is interrupted. So it'll basically run the pump, then it will stop. And then the second setting, which is the time, is the duration of the passive Preinfusion in seconds. So this is your total Preinfusion time. I believe the recommendation in the manual is to set the start to about 3 seconds and then the pause anywhere from 5 to 8 seconds if you want to use Preinfusion. And like I said, I'll show you guys a shortcut on how you can do it here. without doing it in the menus. You can actually do it from the pull button. After your brew settings, you have your eco mode setting. This is usually set to 30 minutes. Basically what this means is if the machine is not used for 30 minutes, it goes into a sleep state, so it reduces power use and the boilers are shut down. If you're using your machine frequently throughout the day and you don't want to turn it off and on all the time, I would highly recommend turning eco mode on. This way the machine will just basically sleep when it's not being used, and then when you're ready to use it, it'll heat up quicker than if you were to start it from like a cold start. After your eco mode setting, you have your cleaning reminder. This is the reminder for when you should clean the machine. Recommendation in the manual is every 90 to 140 espresso cycles, and an espresso cycle is each time you pull a shot that is longer than 15 seconds. I have mine set to like 120, and then that way I know when it's time to clean my machine automatically. After your cleaning reminder, you have the reset reminder. This is how you reset your cleaning reminder once you clean the machine. This just clears the notification on your display controller here. Next is one of my favorite features, and that is the automated cleaning. This function allows you to load your portafilter with the cleaning solution into the group head, press a couple buttons, and the machine will automatically run 5 cleaning cycles through that are 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off. So if you've ever cleaned an espresso machine, you know that this is normally a manual process, but the Profitec Move automates this. So this is a really nice feature and I highly recommend using it. Stay tuned if you want to see a shortcut for how to run the automated cleaning cycle. Next, you have your barista lights. Another really neat feature, you can have these on, off, or only turn on when there's a shot being pulled. I like them on all the time, so that's a pretty easy setting for me. After that, you have your advanced user settings. In the advanced user settings, you have your filter reminder. So if you're using a water filter with your Profitec Move, you can set this reminder to basically work the same as a cleaning reminder. Next, you have your timer enable. This is an important feature that you will want to enable if you are planning to use the auto on-off feature on your Profitec Move. If the timer is disabled, the on-off will not work. So make sure you enable your timer if you plan to use that feature. Following this, you have your clock setting. You want to set your clock to be accurate to your current time so that the machine knows when to turn on and when to turn off if you are using that feature. Next, you have your schedule set. This is where you can set the schedule for the machine to turn on and turn off. You can do this 2 times per day, so you can do like a morning and an afternoon auto on off. Very nice because it can automate having to turn on the machine in the morning. Next, you have your temperature unit. This is one of the things that you'll probably change right away, whether you like Celsius or Fahrenheit. You can set this here. So I'm not even going to go into the coffee offset correction. I'll just post kind of what it says here in the owner's manual. I don't actually understand this feature enough to even give an overview of it. Probably not going to use it for 99% of users, but if you wanted to, you could set the offset to compensate for any temperature loss when you're pulling espresso. All right, and then we have enable fast preheating. So the fast preheating heats up your machine in like 9 to 10 minutes instead of the regular 15 to 20 minutes. This setting does overheat your machine, so you have to run a rinse before you can pull an espresso. But if you did need it to heat up faster than the regular 15 to 20 minutes, you could enable fast preheating to get that down to right around 10 minutes. All right, so that goes over every setting in the menu. Hopefully that gave you an idea of what each setting does. For this next part, I'm gonna actually be showing you some shortcuts that you can use to save yourself some time. Doing things like turning the steam boiler on and off, setting your shot times, running the automated cleaning function without having to dig around in the menus. The first shortcut that I want to share with you, and one that you're going to use pretty often, is turning your steam boiler on or off without having to go into the menu. By pressing your right display control button once, you can turn your steam boiler on or off. Pressing it again does the opposite. Next, we're going to be talking about a shortcut to put your machine into eco mode. So if you hold your left display control button for about 3 seconds, this will put your machine into a sleep or an eco mode state. Again, this is a useful feature if you want your machine to be on while not using its full power and not having the boilers on. This allows it to be put into a sleep state and allow it to wake up if you need to use it again. So next, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite features and one that you're going to use every time you clean your machine. That is the automated cleaning function. To activate this without going into the menu, you can use a shortcut by pressing and holding both the top and the bottom pull buttons for about 3 seconds. So you would do this by loading your portafilter with your cleaning solution, locking it in, and then you would just let the cycle run for 135 seconds. Once done, rinse your portafilter and run another cycle with clean water to fully backflush your machine. Next, I'm going to be showing you how you can set your shot time for the top and pull button. Now you can also adjust your Preinfusion settings doing this as well, but for now we're just going to be showing you how to set the shot time. So depending on which button you wanted to set it for, you would press and hold it for about 3 seconds. On your display you'll see a setting for Preinfusion. We're going to turn this to off. And then we're going to press the top button again. This will activate a countdown, and this is going to be your shot time. So depending on how long you want that shot time to be, you just let it go and then press the button again once you've reached your desired time. So for me, this is usually 30 seconds.
Alright, now I'm going to show you how to set Preinfusion with the brew button. So once you're held the brew button for 3 seconds and made sure your Preinfusion is set to on, you'll press the button to get to set your Preinfusion pause, which I set to 3 seconds. Now I'm setting the delay here, which is going to be 8 seconds. Press the button again, and now I get to set my shot time, which I usually set this to 30 seconds. So basically you just have to let it run for 30 seconds and then press the button again. And that is how you would set up the brew button if you were using Preinfusion.
That's going to be my complete walkthrough of the Profitec Move menus, shortcuts, functions. If there was something that I missed, please drop it in the comments below. If there's something you learned, give me a like, subscribe to see more videos like this. It does help the channel grow, and it helps me create content when I get more subscribers. Follow me on Instagram, guys, same username. You can click the link in my description, and I'll see you all in the next video.